this is basically, I haven't been speaking on a whole lot on a lot of the different world events lately. I just been sitting back and just watching some shit happen the way I said it. But one thing I did notice today is the whole thing where a lot of black people are very disappointed the fact that Jay-Z teamed up with Target, I guess, to do like a special release of one of his older projects, like I guess a 30th anniversary, 40, 20 something. But, I always said this. I said Jay-Z is not someone that advocates for black people. He is that person that is used as a staple to work against his own people. Like, I've noticed that is the issue that we have within the black community. I told you, I said a lot of black people get certain positions of power, and for them to keep that power, they got to go against their own people. That's slavery. I said that's another form of systematic oppression. Like, you don't really care about your own people. Like, you don't care about your own people. You don't care. And it's just like people will look at you and be like, people think you be hating, but it's just like I am very deep into my causes and stuff like that. Being someone that actually when I actually had a job working in diversity, equity, inclusion before they made that law to remove all those things because white people are just so jealous at the fact that we are not giving them all the attention and the affection that they get on a normal day basis anyway. It's like people think it's unconstitutional. I said people think it's unconstitutional for us to actually be looked at as human beings, but y'all use everything about us to copy, to give to other people. And it's just those are one of those things. I said people will think you be hating and they'll be like, okay. I'm telling you, I know a lot of people be like, I feel like I done finally got to a space, I done calmed a little bit down. But I never take back shit that I say. I say if it comes out of my mouth, whether it's cussing, it's passionate, if whether I'm yelling, whatever, I said majority of the time I don't speak on things unless I feel like that is exactly what's going on. Like I'm very mindful and very aware of like my energy. And that is my gripe. That is my gripe with a lot of black people. We don't we don't really want to see other people within our community flourish, and the people that they put in those positions, like I said they're put in those positions for a reason. I said Jay-Z is someone that everybody knows is like he's a staple. Like he's a staple in the black community. Like everybody reveres him, everybody looks up to him, everybody sees him in a certain type of way. But I feel like he made choices that could affect the community, but as long as his pockets look good. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people are starting to realize like they don't like about that. It's like you'll be in a position that you can really change the narrative of how people look, but you don't want to change your pockets. Like, and sometimes this is how you can tell when people also are not in the financial bracket that they would like to be, that they take those deals because, or they take these opportunities that will give them money, but it will also create a disheartening staple within your community. I feel like people love to jump on the bandwagon of looking at you as if you are an enemy or if you are the bad guy. But when you stay on your straight and narrow path and you really start to control the way you think about certain things and the way you see certain things, it's like it starts to show up in that way. I said, imagine you utilizing your hate, your disdain for your own folks, and then but that's your audience though. Like you are a black man, a rapper of that sort. I'm like, your audience always started off being your own people. But it's like it's very disheartening to see some of y'all, and especially like, if I'm not mistaken, how old is Jay-Z? Is he not in his 60s yet? Hold on. had to, but it's like I know he's been through a time to where he's been able to be able to view a lot of the changes that have gone on in the black community. It's like black people think that they free just because they have money, but a lot of y'all don't realize that you are under a form of a spell to still only enhance and enrich other communities. They still look at you as the bottom of the totem pole. I said, people real deal. I said, Donald Trump is very much so prejudiced, but if you give him money, he don't give a damn. I said, when Donald Trump be's in a space to where he decides to pardon a black person, it's because of money. I said, he'll only look at you slightly as an equal if your dollar or your pot, if you are going to fill his pockets. And people like that, I don't really mind. I don't really care for either. One thing I don't like is systematic racism and systematic oppression. Like it's not a good look, it's not a good vibe. And it's like people will beat down your neck. Like imagine you being a black person, right? And you really stand 10 toes down and people be like, that's racist. It's like, but we are in a space to where I don't think people realize that civil rights movement wasn't like we haven't even hit a whole 100 years. It's only been 60. I said, for some of y'all, like for I said, my mother is 64. So that means if the civil rights, it's like she was born into that era. So I feel like a lot of people don't realize how close we are to that shit, but we are a little bit further away, and that is what they're trying to do. The Carmelo Anthony case, I feel like they politicized that case. I said, and it was to really get people all riled up again, get people to try to separate because the first thing it's like the fact that the fact that Austin McCabe's family they came out with I said this is orchestrated. It's like they want to create this divide. I'm like, y'all want to constantly have us fighting against other races, even with the Asians. But I told you, I said, if y'all ever want to get at people, I said, money is the only thing that makes people actually give a fuck. That's it. Money is the only thing, like, it is the only thing that really talk in this world. And it's like when you start to affect their pockets, when black people have a $1.8 trillion spending like aspect to the economy and society. And it's like, imagine when you start to boycott a lot of different things. I said, I think a lot of minorities also still forget that in this country, you're still considered a minority. But if your skin complexion isn't dark, then you may get a pass. Like what I said with a lot of Asian people, you have a lot of intelligent Asians. You have a lot of brilliant people. You be like, but when they come into this country as immigrants and they want to start a business, majority of the time, unless you know they really got that money in their pockets, where do they normally present their businesses at? In our communities. We support them. We support their food. We support their beauty supply stores. We support their nail shops. I said a lot of if you go into the hood, if you go into a predominantly black community, you're going to run into basically Arabic businesses and you're going to run into a lot of Asian based businesses. I said they'll give an Asian person a loan to get a business in a black community quicker than they will give a black person a business license or a business loan to open up a thing in their own. It's like we as black people, we are one of the most hated races in this world because we have been placed in a space to be systematically suppressed and we still have found ways around it and that is what it is. They hate our strength. So if you are intelligent, like I'm telling you, I've noticed even in the spaces of women, I said black women are literally the most hated. I said black men don't like us. They like Hispanic women, they like white women, they like Asian women, they like things that they deem to be exotic. And it's like people wonder, like, well, why are you so against your own people? I said, I'm not. They're against themselves. I said, imagine a masculine energy comes from this type of life, but he'll look me in my face and tell me that a woman is better than me because of her race or her ethnicity or where she come from or how she look. And it's like, okay, When you start to really hold people accountable, like I be looking at certain men, they be like, "Why you really don't fuck with me?" I said, "You treat me like the." I said, "Now you could be with another woman or another female, and she could have a lot of the attributes and qualities that I have, but you would deem me as a hoe, whorish. You would deem me as someone that's unintelligent. I'm mean. I'm rude. I'm a if I appear as my regular self, but it's like too, if I even remotely have any bits of sexual energy towards anything, you're automatically going to look at me as something that is less than. It's like y'all won't accept us for what all comes with us. You demonize us in so many different aspects and ways, and you sit back and allow your peers, the media, to also tear us down. If you think about it, the BBL community is really within the Latina community a lot and the Black community. We are the people that I feel like I said white people get BBLs, and they're more so prone to get a butt like a breast lift or breast implants quicker than I feel like they'll get an ass. I really like honestly, if we really thinking about that aspect of seeing white people do that shit, I really feel like the Kardashians fueled that a lot because honestly, beforehand, I never really seen anybody of that race or nature really appear or appeal to that particular type of beauty enhancements. It's very unfortunate that people really do judge us off the content of who we are. And I'm like, I can't help that I came into this world, the color and the nationality and the ethnicity. Well, I can't help the ethnicity that I came into this world. I have nothing to do with that. But I would get demonized just for simply being a black woman. Don't let me have anything else, a educated woman, a creative woman, a sweet woman. It's like you want to take all of those enduring qualities and try to change them into something else. And then you will also use the black community to go against each other. This is why I say I stay neutral in a lot of situations because it don't matter. I said people will switch on you if a dollar sign is attached to it. And it's like people be really trying to prove you just like them, everybody the same. And it's just like you can have whatever thought process you want, but I don't have to adhere to that. Whatever you actually think that I am, if I tell you that I'm not, and then I show up as that, and you still want to convince yourself otherwise, you have something within yourself that has a heart. You have something within yourself that you have a hard time accepting. Like I would ask certain men, it's like, you would like my company, you would like my strength, you would like my forgiveness, you would like to be in my presence, my energy, but you don't want to give me your love. You don't want to give me your respect. You don't want to give me your time. You want to treat me as if I'm less than. And then you want to do it within being in my face and give it to someone else. And it's like you think that I'm going to sit back and allow you to do anything to me. You're going to be in my face and tear me down, call me a bitch, call me fat, call me ugly, call me whatever you want to basically get a rise out of me. And it's like you are literally proving the point of what I was trying to make. You do not care about my kind. You don't care about my type. Now, everybody is entitled to be able to like what they want to like, believe what they want to believe. But when your belief systems or your preferences cross my boundaries in how you present themselves, yeah, we got a problem. Like, I look at certain white people and it's like, I won't it's like I look at certain things and I even look at Nicki Minaj. I'm like, you feel like you teaming up with Donald Trump, them, or whatever the case may really. But I said at the end of the day, you got to still realize, I said that rabbit hole goes deep. I said, you are teaming. It's like, I don't know if you ended up like trying to find a bond in somewhere where people in your circle have certain qualities or certain things that you're trying to attach yourself to. But it's like at the end of the day, I'm like, these people don't care about you the way you think that they do. But I do believe I do believe a lot of what Nicki Minaj is say. I do feel like, yes, there is a lot of spiritual warfare within this community, and I do feel like she has been targeted a lot. I said it's probably just from the simple fact is money not being properly compensated, as well as being in a space to where as well as being in a space to where when you are on a roll and you don't want to align yourself with others or other people, it's like, yes. Like, I don't like white people that look at me as a fetish, like, or I want to control you. It's like I am not into what you have to offer me financially, even though wealth is something that does help us or allow us to live comfortably. But when I realize that your purpose for wanting to connect with me is just for something simple as genetics, or I want to be able to have a piece of your energy. It's like if you were meant to have that, then you would. It's like a lot of y'all are jealous of the things that other people are acquired or they have received. But it's so interesting that a lot of people that have a lot of special quirks or a lot of special qualities to them, y'all purposely systematically oppress them to be stuck in a certain place. And it's like you will watch them work hard to try to get to the next level. And the fact of how they get there, you will still try to find a way to knock them down. It's like you try to present an element, like you try to present an element to make them lose their mind, to make them snap, to make them go crazy. And it's just like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, imagine someone has illegally bugged your house to be able to watch you and they talk all this shit about you. They say, oh, your house is dirty. It's this, it's that. You're lazy. You're this. And it's like, how would you know that? Like, you want to pretend that you have some type of spiritual gift or special power, but no, you're simply actually hacking and spying on somebody and trying to humiliate them. And also, you try to keep them in one space so that you can still try to harness and take the energy so you can try to create, like, imagine you being a spiritualist and they try to use your gifts against you to make you be like, oh, you're not smart, that's not happy, you're not intuitive, you're not this. And then you sit back and you're like, just wait. You be like, every dog gonna have their day. You be like, I'm gonna continue to move on and live my life. You be like, I'm not going to address you, I'm not going to give you any time of my energy or whatever the case it may be. It's hurtful when people do shit to you for no reason, but it's like sometimes it comes with the territory. I'm gonna say this. I I was in a space of forewarning Rihanna, but I feel like the things that I have seen about Rihanna, I said, y'all gonna realize Rihanna's not as nice as what y'all claim to be, what y'all think she is. She's gorgeous, but a gorgeous face doesn't have a gorgeous heart. I'm like, when you choose to be a mean girl or you choose to want to tear other people down, it's like, yeah. I said, I have never changed my stance. I said my issue that I've had with Rihanna has nothing to do with Rihanna and who she is. It's the fact of what she allowed to happen and then tried to cover it up as if it didn't happen. That is my gripe. And it's like you would try to make it to where you don't want people to see you as a thief or you want people to see you as the most creative. And it's like if you were, why would you have to take something else that somebody else made and try to pass it off as your own and then try to act like that person don't exist? It's like a lot of people looking at Rihanna being like, well, Fenty is such a good company, it's such a good product. Why is it going left? Because I'm telling you, you try to take and steal from the your own people, that's what happens. Like, imagine somebody wants to work for you, and instead of giving them a job opportunity, you take from them, steal from them, and try to act as if they don't fucking exist. It's like, yes, my love, you're gonna have your day. Every dog gonna have their day, and you gonna have yours too. It's like I told you, I said, whatever you have been putting out into this energy, whoever is around you, I've told you, I said, I could still feel how I feel and still try to give you a little bit of heads up, but you too busy running up behind your man who literally his mentor is your boss. His mentor is your boss. So it's like if somebody wanted to get through to you, who would they use to get to you? Your man. And it's like you real crazy over that man. You may love that man, you may it's like, but that person is being used as a pawn in your life to try to destroy you. And you don't see it. But it's okay though. I'm telling you, y'all be want to be so in love. You have all this money. I understand. Everybody wants to be in the space of feeling love and feeling seen and feeling heard. But when people actually tell you the truth about what's going, it's like you feel like, well, I'm a billionaire. I'm like, tell the world how you really became a billionaire. I said they ended up paying you because all of the things that they've done to you and everything that you've went through, that is your payment. They gave you that money. You were allowed to invest it into businesses. I'm like, the industry very much so sexually exploited you and passed you around as if you was a fucking rag doll, and you know that. Yes, you are talented, but they don't give a fuck about your talent. They only gave a fuck about the fact that you were great in the bed. And you know this. You know that this is what they did. It's like it sucks. The same thing that they did to Cassie. I'm like, you have been sexually exploited in all these different spaces, and this is the real reason why you were able to build your businesses. This is why you got quiet. I said, now that you in the space of not giving a fuck no more, you starting to speak more. You starting to go back to old Rihanna, but this is the Rihanna that's always there. They literally tried to control. You had to be a quiet, you had to be a quiet, kept black woman. That is what you had to be. You had to be a quiet, kept black woman. You were in the Epstein files. They literally harassed and did the same thing to you that they did to white women. But it's like, because you are Rihanna and you are a moneymaker, they was like, you survived it. They were like, you have no choice. We're going to give you, like, you could really take these niggas down if you wanted to. But it's like they sexually exploiting you too. And it's like now that you are probably saying no, they're fucking with your money. I'm telling you, this is what happens when you sign a deal for your spirit, for who you are. You allowed them to pay you out of, you should have just fucking, it's like you afraid that if you would have sued them or really exposed what the hell that had gone on with you, you knew that they would have been tried to off you already. And that's what they're trying to do to you again. I said they want to Virginia your ass. As soon as Virginia ended up getting her fucking money, they killed Virginia. She got in that fucking car accident and all of a sudden they killed Virginia. I don't give a damn. I don't think Virginia committed suicide. I genuinely don't think it. Jeffrey Epstein was a terrible person. Everybody affiliated with that man was terrible. I said Jeffrey Epstein shit went deeper. I said it had nothing to just, I said they look at Rihanna as one of the hybrids. I said she's black, but she's light skinned with very pretty eyes. You probably have some other fucking DNA that they like. I said Jeffrey Epstein, I'm telling you, I feel like that man is a vampire. I feel like that is Andrew Jackson. That nigga is one of the oldest people. He is a vampire. If you look at some of the old photos of Andrew Jackson, it's like a slight bit of structural face have changed. Jeffrey Epstein wanted to keep his essence here, but he also had a boss. I said that man was a billionaire financer. I said Jeffrey Epstein got to that point without even having a fucking degree. I said he lied about his education, but he was so good at his job that they kept him. Jeffrey Epstein was the recorder. It's like he showcased everything that was going on. To me, it's almost like everything was put on video. He knew that they was going to get him. He knew he had his own. He that's why he played the field. But he was like, revenge is going to taste sweet when things. Donald Trump keep trying to be like, there's not like I don't listen to a fucking thing that Donald Trump has to say. It's like if you there is no way that that was your friend. You've been in all these multiple photos, videos, and whatever, and you ain't even heard not a lick of story, and you claim that you did nothing either. I said the only time you will get a chance to see when whatever was going is when Donald Trump died, but he's gonna still try to want his image to be clear. Like he may try to bribe his family, but I think when Donald Trump dies, people are going to be like, fuck that shit. I don't feel like no one else is going to have the power to be able to stop that information from coming out like that. I feel like you have to pay for the choices that you make. And sometimes y'all try to get people included in that shit that will not take your bribe, that will not do none of that shit. And it's like the more that y'all try to keep exploiting people and watching them and being like, oh, you're gonna fuck yourself up. And it's like a lot of y'all never thought that it would come back around because y'all old. I said y'all wanted to try to get Bill Cosby, but I'm like, fuck that shit. I said it's time for a lot of these white people to start being reprimanded. I said, if you notice right now, they are really attacking black wealth. I said all of the black billionaires, millionaires, these are the people they're attacking, and the white people are making more money. I said, if you motherfuckers would really take a stand and be okay with maybe losing a couple honey, a couple meal to really take your stance and fight against these people who force you to be a part of that. I say you'll see the type of power you really have. This is the reason why they want to get rid of certain people. This is the reason why they oppress you, because all of the mind control. It's like, imagine someone try to put a demon on you and you end up controlling that shit for yourself. You're like, I don't function under that. I don't live the lifestyle that you want to try to equate me to. And it's just like, imagine you over here trying to really speak life into your fellow black people, as well as knowing what they've gone through. But all motherfuckers want to do is run up behind a nigga that ain't really like, you be like, you don't even know the real reason of that nigga being around. I'm like, Rihanna's not as nice as it's like they gave her that money and it real deal got to a space to where it's like it tee your head up. But it's like, remember why you was given that money. I said that money was hush money. A lot of y'all. I said Beyonce, quiet as kept. Everybody quiet as kept. I'm like, Beyonce, she was someone. I said, your husband, you were 17 when you met this man, 19 when y'all started dating. Technically, allegedly, that's supposed to be the only man you have been around. I said you were groomed. And it's like, honestly and truly, your family could be at fault for that too, because you're still young. It's like nobody, it's like, but we as black people, we come from a generation where people, that shit happens all the time. A lot of times we look at older men like, oh, they can take care of me better than a nigga that can my age. But imagine you end up being controlled in that certain space. And then you have to use voodoo, hoodoo, all these different things to get your man to act right. And guess what they do? They cheat on you even worse than before they had the voodoo on them. Why my man won't stay straight? I said, why my man won't do me right? Because you're forcing it. I said, a man that wants to do right can make the choice to do it himself. You don't have to do black magic on him. I said, because you're gonna hate the consequences. I said that person's gonna get angry at you. Like, imagine, look, like I'm gonna simple it down a little bit more. Look at Nevaeh and Blueface. She also practices Oshun. She's also into Orishas. I said, but Blueface do not give a fuck about that shit. I'm telling y'all, when you try, so some imagine somebody be like, well, we don't understand why niggas like you, because I don't give a fuck. I said, I'm not trying to force nobody to be in my life who shows me that they don't really give a damn. Some of y'all get upset or jealous at the fact that you feel as if someone is going to take your place, or to like, you like, I want to be revered as that number one power couple. But do you have that number one power couple spirit? It's like, are you really someone that is willing to walk away from it? It's like y'all look at shit as it being transactional. It's going to help your image, but it's like you chose the money. You choose the money over actually really finding yourself, and you would look at me and be like, haha, you crazy, you a brokey. But I said, give me like wait till I'm probably like in my 40s and you actually see me doing well and I'm thriving, and I can actually choose and pick who I want to be with, and it's actually okay, and not having to really truly worry about if somebody is here just for the fucking money. Y'all be parading around. Your money can hide the misery. Your money can hide, like, as long as we going out, we look great, we doing this, we doing that. It's just like, but your spirit knows the truth. I may be someone that is young, but I've been through my fair share of having to understand that, I also have to take accountability of the choices that I make in my life. And sometimes I choose bad men. And sometimes I think that that's the thing that people try to play on. Like they be like, "You're such a happy-go-lucky person. Let's put a man into your life to ruin it." And honestly and truly, I feel like a lot of the choices in men that I have made, they have been quite the downfall of like my finances. It's like God is like, I'm not going to bless you as long as you keep blessing someone that is not pouring back into you. This is a garden. You be like, you're not being watered. You be like, you're allowing weeds to grow within this shit. This person is not fertilizing it. They're not doing anything. All they're doing is pouring into you enough to be able to pour into their self. And people will look at you and be like, huh. I said people be fighting divorces, be fighting all of that shit. And it's just like people look at you and you be like, you want me to stay with this person that I know was sent in to destroy me because y'all look for people like that. You want to be we know that person want to be famous real bad, but we were never going to give it to them the way that they thought that they were going to have it. We just used them to get to you. And imagine when people realize like you thought you were the main piece. You thought you were the main guy. You're the plus one. You're being used to get to other people. They hate a person they can't break down. You're gonna do what I say for what? You be like, imagine someone trying to find fault in how you live your life, and then imagine someone get somebody to watch you. The police watch you. They are aware of what's going on with you, and guess what? They know you're not doing nothing. They know you're not talking to nobody. They know that there's nobody feeding you intel inside. That shit is coming straight from you. But still, they will allow people to allow you to be watched, allow you to be monitored, allow you to be hacked, try to humiliate you and all that, and you still keep thriving and pushing forward and ignoring their ass. That's the shit that they hate. Imagine a white man being so into a black man, but it's a fetish. It's like you don't care about the things that I go through while being in my color. You don't even care about the things that I would have to go through being attached to you. And the fact that you won't defend that shit, it's like a lot of our struggles are different. Donald Trump purposely took funds out of the Board of Education to get back at people that were in school. It's like sometimes you'll be like, people be like, you ain't that special. I said, ask him it's like, why did you really take the money out of the education fund? Like, imagine imagine being in a space and both the Biden administration did that. It's like when I decided to go to school and actually thrive because I still said I wanted to run for president. It's like y'all really got to a point where y'all decided to really fuck with education. Like imagine like I'm gonna do this as a hypothetical thing. Imagine you were an adoptive child from a very like prestigious family. Imagine you were part of like the royal family and they wanted to exploit you because you were black. Like you don't have their same skin complexion, okay? But look at the way that the universe works out. It's like these people want to pretend that they're better than you or that they sit in this place. And guess what? It's nothing like that. It's like these people are just as whorish. I said all they do, they have their prestige titles and their finances to hide behind. But even through that, the cracks start to show. People get very offended by your no, but you be like, ask yourself why the no is there. People be want to attack you. It's like go get you some help. It's like for real. Go get you somewhere and go sit down and talk to somebody and get to the bottom of why are you so possessive? It's like you want to hold on to someone that you know you had no intentions of treating well. You knew you came into their life to destroy, to cause them harm, and you want someone to be around you. It's like no thank you. Only it's like y'all are very led by your flesh. People talk so much shit on me, but one of the main things that I know that my spirit team always shows up and show, people love to try to talk about promiscuity, whatever, but I'm like, I don't live my life like that. And I'm very sure of that. And it's like nobody can be around me. It's to the point where people will lie to try to create the narrative. And it's just like, you don't want to tell people that you were rejected. You don't want people to be like, oh, I don't want to fuck with you. Because they're like, ew, who are you? It's like, well, if I'm so ew, why would you be in my energetic space the first time? Why would you try to approach me the first time? Shit's not right. And then when I actually hold you accountable to that, then you want to look at me sideways. And it's just like, eventually you'll learn. Like, imagine you actually have somebody that genuinely supports you, that they're not there to have your money or to take your money. Like, they really want to see you grow, but you're such in competition with the person that actually love and care about you and would be there really through some thick and thin shit. Y'all only focus on your finances, and it's just like, when money is your sole purpose, that is where it's going to be. No amount of money is going to be able to buy you the love that you seek. Y'all are buying love, and I said that's the reason why when the money is gone, the love is gone. I feel like people will look at you and see that you study whatever you study. And people be like, well, I'm like, I don't utilize certain religions or certain practices to terrorize other people's life. It's like, yes, you could practice the Yoruban religion, whatever. You can study Orishas. I'm like, but when your intention is to want to obstruct someone else's life, their justice, their livelihood, like you really want to swap a destiny, but it's like it was never yours to carry. It was never yours to have. And it's like some of y'all want to try to walk in certain places of other people. And guess what? You can't. It's like this is why you got into the position that you are today, is because they know that you are insecure. They know that you could not handle all of the ridicule, like all of that shit that Nicki Minaj go through by just trying to stand up for herself. A lot of people could not deal with that. Y'all are so insecure. I'm like, you couldn't even handle somebody talking about this. It's like y'all get so offended. That is why you're chosen. That is why you're chosen to be in those spaces, because it's like if there's ever a moment where they need to use you as an example, you ain't gonna last.